How do you think the Prime Minister and the government have handled the coronavirus crisis in the last year? 0344 499 1000. Let's speak to a man who knows him well, Stanley Johnson, author and conservationist. Stanley, good afternoon to you.
Well, good afternoon.
Nice to have you with us. Now, I know he's your son. He's also your Prime Minister as well. Removing the fact you know this man better than anyone else on the planet, how do you think the Prime Minister and the government have handled the COVID pandemic 12 months down the line?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's been a remarkably successful event because we are going to come out of this crisis, and that the proof of the pudding is that a month or two from now, I think we'll be saying to ourselves, well, it worked. It worked. Yes, there's been a cost. There's been a cost in terms of lives. There's been a cost in terms of the economy. But faced with an really unprecedented situation, touch wood, we will have got through it. And so I think that is as far as I'm concerned, that's it. The proof of the pudding is going to be in the eating.
When you see headlines, Stanley, and we've seen these today as well, that more lives could have been saved if we'd locked down sooner or we hadn't eased the lockdown, the winter lockdown should have gone on for a lot longer. These are the kind of headlines. These are the sort of things that may well haunt the Prime Minister for many years to come. What's your reaction to that?
Frankly, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I don't have a view. No, we've not been confronted with this situation before. Who knows what was the right thing to do? Now, I did years ago, thank you for inviting me on, write a book called The Marburg Virus, which was rescheduled, republished. Can you see it there? If I hold it up there, can you see it? Republished.
There it is. It's back out.
Republished as the virus, and it's back out. And what was the situation I was looking at then? I was inspired by something which had happened in the end of the 60s in Germany, where a very, very virulent virus escaped, and roughly 30 people or 25 people got it, and almost total mortality. And so I imagined that situation, and I said, what is the real way of dealing it? And that was, of course, getting hold of every single person who'd been exposed and locking them up. But this was a lock-up situation, which you can do when you only know you've got 20. But we couldn't have done that. It was just not a feasible operation for us. So we had to do what we did, working with social measures. And so honestly, I think the investigation has to happen. What happened are the lessons to be learned. But that investigation, I don't think, can take place now.
Have you? I mean, were there times? I'm not suggesting for one second you're an old man or anything, Stanley. You're very much a spring chicken, of course, and a very fit chap too.
Very nice you say so. I've had my double jab.
So you've had the second one as well.
Yeah, I had the first one on December the 8th.
Yeah,
and December the 18th, and I had the second one on January the 8th.
So you now have the full protection of this. But did it mean that you had to shield or stay indoors in any more specific way than anyone else?
No, certainly not. Not as far as I know. No, I mean, I was down on my farm. I've been up in London. No, I don't think I did any kind of deliberate shielding. I don't think I wasn't one of the categories of people who needed to be shielded. Sure. I think you had to be very specially privileged to be a shieldee. So I wasn't one of those. No, but to be serious for a moment, I mean, of course, it'll be easy to cast assertions one way or the other. As I said, the proof of the pudding is going to be in the eating. We came out of this.
And have you spoken to the Prime Minister on these kind of points? I mean, I appreciate that, there's a separation of fatherly relationship and prime ministerial ones.
Well, I'm certainly not going to go into conversations I may or may not.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you have private conversations, of course. But what are you gleaning from, the Prime Minister in terms of how you think he's done on it? Do you get the sense that he's satisfied?
I'm not privy to anybody's innermost thoughts here. What I will say is, of course, when, roughly speaking, I think it must have been early April last year. It's not, if you say give it another 10 or 15 days from now, we would be in the anniversary of the Prime Minister himself going into intensive care. I think that certainly did bring back home to me, if it ever needed to be brought back home to me, that this was a really serious issue. It needed to be handled seriously, and it was handled seriously. Now, of course, I very much hope that the current spat, as you know, I've had quite a long career in the EU.
Yeah.
I've been for 12 years in the European Commission, 5 years in the European Parliament, still fairly heavily involved in various European activities. Now, I think we are at a very, very intricate and intriguing moment here. And I suspect that the EU is going beyond its powers here in trying to interfere with a legal contract which this country may have with AstraZeneca in Belgium. I think this is a very, very delicate area, and I think everybody needs to proceed with huge caution, at this point. And I don't think the EU is handling this the right way. And I say that in spite of the fact that, I'm...
Yeah, but you feel that the government have been handling well. Very finally, in 5 seconds, if you could, Stanley, let's give the government a mark, a grade on this then, if you could.
Yep, I would say beta plus, query plus, or maybe even alpha minus. Do you see what I mean? I mean, there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it that 100,000 people, down who lost their lives. Well, you can't be alpha plus, but in terms of, as I say, getting out of the wood, we are going there.
Okay, Stanley Johnson, thank you. Author, conservationist, former politician. Latest book, The Warming, which is an ecological thriller. And he mentioned there The Virus, which was published, I think he said updated as well, last year.